Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. In un passaggio a livello si possono trovare le corsie di accelerazioni. The question says you can come across corsia di accelerazioni in passaggio a livello, which is falso, because you can only come across corsia di accelerazioni if you want to enter into the highway, and passaggio a livello is just a train track. You can't come across corsia di accelerazioni on passaggio a livello. The only thing you can come across on passaggio a livello is either you come across the sign letting you know you are close to the one with barrier, semi-barrier, or maybe you come across the one that tells you are close to passaggio a livello senza barriere. And there we have pannelli distanziometrici, which tells you if you are 150 meters away, if you are 100 meters away, and also if you are 50 meters away from the train track. Il semaforo in figura impone ai motocicli di rallentare quando è acceso in triangolo giallo. So the question is letting you know if this yellow triangle is on, it's telling the motorcycles to slow down. The answer to this question here is falso, because this traffic light does not actually regulate the motorcycles. It only regulates the public transport, which means if it turns on, it's referring to the public transport like the tram. It's not referring to the motorcycles. So the answer to this question here is falso. Lo spazio totale di arresto aumenta se l'asfalto è ruvido. The question is letting you know the total space you need to stop your vehicle increase if the road is dry. If there's no oil, there's no water, there's nothing on the road. The answer to this question is falso. Remember, the total space you need to stop your vehicle will decrease if the road is dry, because there's nothing on the road. It will only increase if there is snow on the road, if it's rainy and the road is wet, and also if you are descending from the hill, because if there is snow on the road, it's raining, the road is wet, then the road will be slippery. For you to stop your vehicle, you will actually need more space to stop the vehicle. Nelle intersezioni incrocio a livelli sfasati non valgono i limiti massimi generali di velocità. So when it comes to incroci, you know we have two types. We have the incrocio a raso, which is the surface junction where two or more roads comes in contact, and we have incrocio a livello sfasati, which is the overhead bridge. So the question is letting you know at the overhead bridge there is no speed limit there. The speed limit does not exist. You can drive any speed you want to drive. The answer to this question here is falso, because there is always a speed limit attached to any road. For example, if you are driving in centro urbana, which is the city, you need to drive 50 km per hour. If you are driving in strada extraurbana secondario, you need to drive 90 km per hour. It also depends on the vehicle you're driving though. If you're driving in strada extraurbana principale, you need to drive 110 per hour. But if you are driving in autostrada, then you need to drive 130. As you can see, all the roads have speed limits. You can choose to drive lower than those speed limits, no problem, but you don't need to drive higher than this speed limit. And it also depends on the vehicle you're driving. If you're driving autovettura, which is the normal car we drive, then you can drive 50 in the city. You can drive 110 in principale, 19 in secondario, and 130 in autostrada. But if you are driving autotreno, which means you have another vehicle tied to your vehicle, or maybe you have a remorque tied to your vehicle, then the speed limit will change. Then you need to drive 50 in the city, you drive 17 in both strada extraurbane, and you drive 80 in autostrada, because now you are not controlling just one vehicle, you're actually controlling two. You have another vehicle tied to your vehicle. So remember, there is always a speed limit tied to any road. So, se si attraversa ad alta velocità un incrocio con precedenza, in caso di incidente la responsabilità sarà del conducente del veicolo che ha impegnato per prima incrocio. So basically, the question is letting you know If you are driving on a high speed and on that junction you have rights, you have precedence on that junction, if there should be an accident, the responsibility of that accident will fall on the vehicle that entered that junction first. The answer to this question here, guys, is falsissimo. You can even say it's falso. When it comes to a junction, there is always a rule governing that junction, which means if there is the X sign, it means you need to give precedence to the vehicle coming from the right. If there is no sign on the road, you also need to give precedence to the vehicle coming from the right side. And let's say there's a sign of direct precedence. There you need to slow down, give precedence to the both side. And if the sign of fermarsi e direct precedence, there you need to wait, then give precedence to the both side. Let's say, for example, there's direct precedence in your front and you're supposed to slow down, watch the both side before you continue, but you did not slow down and you just entered the road. If there should be an accident there, the fault will come from you. So the fault does not normally come from the person that entered the road first. It only comes from the person that is supposed to give precedence on that road and refuse to give precedence. And also, guys, you don't really need to drive fast if you are approaching a junction. You need to slow down, watch very carefully, drive with caution, be sure there's nothing coming before you continue, even though you have precedence on that road. So the next question we have here is: salvo diverse segnalazioni per ciclomotori, il limite massimo di velocità consentito è di 45 km/h. The answer to this question here is vero. When it comes to ciclomotori, which are the ladies' bike, the speed limit you can drive is 45 km/h. That's why you can't drive them in autostrada, because they don't really have the power, the potential to go in autostrada. Yesterday when I was in class with some of my students, we came across this question here and they tend to misunderstand the question. And the question is: si deve tenere una velocità regolata in funzione del tempo che abbiamo a disposizione. So the question is letting you know you need to regulate your speed based on the time you have. The answer to this question is falso. Remember, when it comes to every road, they have a speed limit. And also, you don't need to regulate your speed based on the time you have. Let's say, for example, you're going for an appointment. You need to go to the questura, right? And you have 20 minutes. And you are coming from a far place. If you should regulate your speed based on the time you have, that means you will be driving very fast. And when you are driving very fast, three things tend to occur. First, you lose your focus because you have anxiety then. Second, the vehicle will not be balanced. In case there is an emergency, it will be very difficult for you to actually control the vehicle. And fourth, you can't stop in time. Let's say, for example, you are rushing to an appointment and something just entered your front, or the vehicle in the front just stepped on the brake. It will be very difficult for you to actually stop your vehicle in time. So you can't regulate your speed based on the time you have. The only way you can regulate your speed is one, you can regulate your speed based on your health. If you are not feeling fine, if you are not okay, that's what you need to reduce your speed. You can also regulate your speed based on the weather, which means condizioni atmosferiche. If it's raining, there is dew, there is snow, those ones you need to regulate your speed. Si deve diminuire la velocità quando si è seguiti da un autobus di linea, which means you need to reduce your speed if you are following autobus. The problem here is that we have deve on this question, which means you must reduce your speed. The answer to this question here is false. So guys, you don't really need to reduce your speed if you are following an autobus. You only regulate your speed if the road is well, like I said, if there is fungus on the road, if the condition of that road is bad, which is the atmosphere on that road, it's raining, there is dew, those can make you regulate your speed. But if you are following autobus, it's not a must that you must regulate your speed. So the answer to this question here is false. Also, this question here, people tend to fail it. And the question is: se tenuti a regolare la velocità in funzione del tipo di alimentazione del motore. The question is letting you know you need to regulate your speed based on what the car is using. If it's using benzina, GPL, gas, fuel, which is false. You don't need to regulate your speed based on what the vehicle is using. You don't regulate your speed because the vehicle is using fuel, or because the vehicle is using GPL, or because the vehicle is using gas. No, you only regulate your speed, like I said, if there's traffic on the road, if the road is wet, if the atmosphere is bad, if the physical, the conducente, which is your health, is bad, then you need to regulate your speed. What the vehicle is using have nothing to do with the speed of that vehicle. Si deve tenere una velocità adeguata alla propria condizioni fisiche. The answer to this question here is vero, because the question is letting you know you need to regulate your speed based on the condition of that driver, the health of the driver, which is vero. Se si attraversa un incrocio con diritto di precedenza, non si ha alcun obbligo di rallentare. The question says, if you are passing a junction that you have rights on that junction, you have precedenza, you have no obligation to slow down. The answer to this question here is falso. It's falso because you can actually control your vehicle, but you can't control what other people are driving on the road, which means if you are approaching a junction, you always need to slow down, hold your steering wheel strongly, and be ready to stop if necessary, even though you have precedenza on that road. Because you don't say, I have precedenza, I need to drive very fast. It doesn't matter what other people is driving on the road. In that case, you are likely to come across accidents. No, your enemy is likely to come across accident. But always slow down and be ready to stop if necessary. Si deve regolare la velocità in base alla fretta del conducente. So the question is letting you know you need to regulate your speed based on how hurry you are, how fast you want to get to where you're going. You can't regulate your speed based on the driver is in fretta. The driver wants to do something very fast. The driver is going to somewhere very quick. The driver has somewhere to be at certain time, so it's rushing the process. That will cause accidents on the road, because if you are rushing any process, there is anxiety there. You want to go to that place very fast. So you will be looking for a way to bypass everything on that road for you to get there on time. So the answer to this question here is false. You always need to be calm if you're driving, regulate your speed, drive with caution, and be ready to stop if necessary. In that way, you can avoid multa, and also you can avoid you getting into unnecessary accidents. I was in class with some of my students yesterday, and someone asked me this question: how will I be able to pass this patente if I really need it in 2 or 3 months? The point here is, no matter information anybody give you, or no matter the information I can give you, or no matter how well I can put you through, even though I hold your hand and take you through all the process in just a month, it only depends on how willing you are to study. I can teach you everything in a month. For example, teach you from la strada, segnale di obbligo, precedenza, indicazioni, segnaletica orizzontale, semaforiche, agente di traffico, take you through all the process and recover all the arguments in just a month. But if you don't have the zeal and you are not willing to study, then it will look like you are actually wasting your time. You will think you actually know it until you start doing the quiz. So what am I trying to say? It depends on how willing you want to study and how much time you have to do the quiz per day. Let me tell you, when it comes to Patente, we have 7,000 plus questions. So that means if you can divide the 7,000 plus questions, you only need 1 hour a day for you to cover all the questions in 2-3 months. Okay guys, that will be all for today. I hope you like the video, and if you do, watch this video here which cover 30 questions from motorizzazione directly. As usual, I'll see you guys in the other side. But before you go, let me know under this video if there's any question you don't understand, or if there's anything you don't understand, and also if there's any argumento you finding it difficult to cover. Let me know on this video, and I'll cover it in our next video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.